Okay. Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video we're going to be going over the patch 4.2 preliminary patch notes. Sorry if there was a little bit of extra stuff at the beginning of me rushing into the video, because I'm uploading this right from Twitch to YouTube, so it just happens. I give that warning out whenever I do it. Anyway, I got Monster Hunter World to get to, so I'm just going to start this, and we're not going to talk about it before we get started, so let's just scroll down and see what's going on here. Alright, so new main scenario quests. I mean, we know. This is a big thing, actually. It's right at the beginning, but I don't want to skip it. They're making it so you can't skip cutscenes in Castrum Meridianum or the Praetorium anymore. I would have liked if it was, like, voted, like everyone could vote to skip it if they wanted to. I guess there was still the potential issue of people vote-kicking new players for not wanting to skip the cutscenes, for example. But they may increase the duty roulette bonuses from this. Unless I get like a full level, I don't know. I think people who were doing the main scenario roulette as part of their like daily leveling routine, I think they're just going to omit it now. I think this is going to be something they have to kind of like take steps back on and make some sort of adjustment that, I don't know, gets people in the roulette still. Because I don't think increasing the rewards is going to be quite enough to keep people who, for some reason, were still doing it. New Chronicles, the era quests. We have the Four Lords. That's going to be the storyline that starts up with Byakuo and moves on to Suiryu, Suzaku, and Genbu. Or, you know their real names. That's going to be over in the Ruby Sea, and you do have to complete one of the main scenario quests before you can actually get to it. As for Omega, Return to the Rift, as long as you've beaten the final quest from the Delta Scape, you should be able to start this quest, Return to the Rift. And this will be how you get access to the Sigmascape Normal, and after completing Normal mode, that is how you will get to the Sigmascape Savage. There's more information about that as we scroll down to the new content. New side story quest, Precious Reclamation, 1,001 Farewells. Any of this information that's super important will be listed lower next to things like the Ananta Beast Tribes or the new dungeons and stuff like that. Let's see, what else do we have? For prevention of spoilers, the location where this quest is accepted has been omitted. Players will discover this location via the main scenario quest, wherein they will have access to an aetheryte. So that's kind of weird. It almost makes it seem like there's, I don't know, like there's another zone being added with an extra aetheryte, or there's some sort of adjustment to a previous zone that's going to be made. I don't know exactly how to take that information, but Precious Reclamation and Short Arms of the Law. Short Arms of the Law. Is that somewhere else here? I guess not, because I tried searching it. Short Arms of the Law. Nope, it's not anywhere here, so that's a previous quest. I don't remember what quest that is. Short Arms of the Law. But it's not in the patch notes, so unless that's them accidentally spoiling something, which they've done from time to time in the patch notes, then it's not here. But you'll need to do this quest first, at the very least. The Fractal Continuum hard mode, what's it called? Oh, you know what? The only place they would add an aetheryte would be Eureka. Duh. I guess we can go there at some point. Not until 4.25, but we know that. The Fractal Continuum hard mode, have to beat Fractal and beat Stormblood to get that quest. And the Fashion Report. This is for a new feature over in the Gold Saucer. The rewards for completing the following quests have been adjusted: Self-Improving Man and If I Had Glamour. They're just going to be changing it to Glamour Prisms for one, and Cast Glamour Action, Glamour Plate Action, and a Green Beret. Berets are cool. Yeah. Reward was added for players to try the new Glamour Dresser as described below. Please learn about the new Glamour Dresser. The quest of Warm Welcome has been renamed. Bitter is the Night. The quest Food for Thought has been renamed as Spicing Things Up. Not to Beast Tribe quests have been added. If you've done any Beast Tribe quests before, you shouldn't need much explaining. The only thing you really need to know is that it's located in the fringes at Castum Velodnia, which we kind of figured based on the screenshots we saw prior, right here in the bridge between the west side and the east side of the fringes. It's got quest sync, so you can use it to level from 60 to 70. Doesn't matter which level you are, as long as you're at least level 60. And then they have a bunch of story quests that you'll unlock as you actually go through and unlock all the new stuff, you know, as you get the rank ups for their reputations and whatnot. You'll get all the story and you'll have all that information, plus the actual daily quests and their Beastman currency, which we'll be using to buy stuff from their vendor. The difficulty of certain recipes for the Ixalt Beast Tribe quest has been reduced. Music played during certain cutscenes in the Kojin Beast Tribe quest misdelivered has been adjusted. Don't remember. Number of experience points received from crafting gathering quests up to level 60 has been increased. All right. Gear for Disciples of Hand has been added as a reward for Ishgardian Tradecraft leaves. Okay, cool. Treasure Hunt. Rewards for Gagana Skin and Gazelskin treasure maps have been adjusted. Okay, yeah, they usually do that whenever they do more and more maps. So, okay. Those are the 4.x maps, just to be clear. The following adjustments have been made to the Aquapolis, Lost Canals of Oznair, and the Hidden Canals of Oznair. The acquisition rate for the Thief's map and the Lost Canals has been increased, so we can go to the Hidden Canals a little bit more frequently. The rewards in the Aquapolis, Lost Canals, and Hidden Canals have been adjusted. Now, Lost Canals and Hidden Canals, again, they did this with Aquapolis. As they would update the expansion, they'd add new stuff to keep people going back there. It's odd to see Aquapolis in this list. Aquapolis is now considered old content. I still do Aquapolis a little bit, but it's still weird to see them adjusting the 3.x map area. I'm just surprised by that. So I wonder what the actual, adjustment is. I don't know if it's materia, if it's just straight up new loot, which I'd totally welcome, or if it's something else entirely. But I don't know. And then I'm assuming this comes from the Hidden Canals of Oznair because we'll look at it. They also adjusted the item level sync. All right. You can go up to item level 370. Why even have item level sync at this point? Like, I'm guessing they have it in place for when 5.0 comes out and they have new maps and they don't want to raise the sync then. But, like, why not just have no item level sync and then put the item level sync on when we actually, like, hit 5.0? I don't know. Either way, Hidden Canals and Lost Canals go up to 370 now, so let the steamrolling commence of some of the treasure map bosses that are in there. Squadrons, they got 3 new dungeons. They got Zamiel Darkhold, Pharaoh Sirius, and Copper. I knew about Copper Bell Hard, but oh, oh, you. They've been so reliably good that I really wanted another way to test them out. So awesome. Use of enmity generating actions by Gladiator Marauders has been adjusted. I'm assuming that means so the Gladiator does a thing where he flashes every time blind wears off, but he won't flash more than twice in a row. So in terms of AoE enmity, it's not great. I wonder if that's what they mean in terms of adjustment. The use of attack actions by thaumaturges have been adjusted. Yeah, I don't have a thaumaturge, but I heard they weren't great. Overall behavior has been adjusted. That's a little vague considering that their behavior is anything but, I guess I would say anything but documentable. So I guess it's hard for them to document it too. New craftable items for the company workshop. Subaquatic voyages I'm not going to spend much time on. It's like Free Company airships. You build a submarine, you send it out on missions. It has performance, it levels up, and you have to use ceruleum tanks. You chart a voyage. Like, there's all these little things about it, but it's not something we're going to take a whole lot of time to talk about. If you have messed with the airships, you already know. If you haven't, trust me, it won't take you long to figure out. It's basically like a retainer venture with a few extra steps. Timer for auto demolition will resume in 4.2. Excuse me. I'm surprised to see. Actually, I'm not really surprised. It's been off for a while now, longer than I anticipated them keeping it on. So, just a little note: auto demolition days will start reaccumulating soon. Wards 13 through 18 will be added. Keep in mind, the new housing districts won't be available until 1 week, and it says it right here. 1 week after patch 4.2 releases. So don't log in January 30th to be like, where's the new houses? It's wait a week, and then you'll be able to do it then. Now, 6 wards, all the sub-districts have been added. I believe that's just over 1,600 houses. Pricing is the same as it has been for the previous ones, but the big caveat is that plots designated for free company use will be limited to purchase by free companies with at least 4 members. And on top of that, you won't be able to purchase individual homes for a short time. Basically, they're going to let the free companies get the first dibs, free companies that qualify under that, and then whatever houses are left go to the individuals. So that's what they're focusing on first. Keep in mind, none of this applies to relocation. If you're an individual who owns a home and you want to relocate your home to another ward when this patch comes out, you can still do that. So if you were someone who had the house and wants to relocate to Kugane, that is something you can still do as soon as these houses become available, even if you are just an individual. Players will be permitted to only own 1 private and free company estate per world, per service account. Other ways around that, I know plenty of people who are just have abused the system so much up to this point. And it looks like they're grandfathering in anyone who already owned plots beforehand. They don't have, I guess, the ability yet to remove them if you, I don't know, let's say own a whole ward's worth of houses. Not me, but there's people out there who have done it. I don't even have my own house. I don't even want one. To discourage the resale plots, any plots relinquished by owners will be unavailable for purchase for a limited time. During this period, said plots will still be available for relocation. Yeah, so basically, if you're just trying to sell a plot outright, it's probably not going to work. Someone's going to move right in. They're going to relocate in. And then I guess that person can try to go buy the relocated house. I don't know. I don't know. People are so shifty when it comes to this housing thing. That's another reason I don't get involved in it. They're gonna have more information about it later. We'll end up talking about it again. Trust me. Players can now teleport directly to a friend's free company estate, private estate, or apartment building. I like it. I mean, I'll probably never do it, but it's it's something for people who will use it. Exterior and interior fixtures will no longer be lost when remodeling the estate. Okay. Following items allow players to employ material selectors, junk mongers, armor menders, stewards with new appearances have been added. As you can see, you can have an Ananta. Oh, I like this one. I like the Allegan mender or whatever it ends up doing. I just like the idea that I can have an Allegan NPC in the house I don't have. I have an apartment. The number of vendor NPCs that are allowed in each estate has been adjusted. They've increased it overall, which is good because they probably want people to have a variety of these things available in their house. So enjoy. The design winners are getting their furnitures added, plus they're adding new furnishings overall. They are making it so you can have more than one bathtub as well. New orchestrion rolls, new aquarium fishes, here they all are. New paintings have been added. A new seed for the flower pots have been added. We have the fashion report, which they went over in the live letter. Basically, it's an NPC over in the gold saucer that you can access starting at level 15. After you completed the quest, it could happen to you, which I believe is the quest that gives you access to the gold saucer. Basically, this guy will ask you to bring him a specific suit, like something that's red, something that's blue, something that's, I don't know, he'll give you a description. And if you bring him something that's like really on point with his description, yeah, you'll get some rewards. You get 10,000 MGP for participating. You get a bonus 50,000 MGP if you score at least 80 points. You'll also, people who participate in these challenges will gain access to Kasumi's boutique, which contains other unique items that you can get. So, I mean, if you're looking for glam and you don't really care about the fashion report, at least do it once to get access to the boutique, I guess. But you can only do these rewards and this evaluation once per week. So enjoy it. It's another weekly thing for you to do. New prizes available for MGP. LA being its usual morning self. Players can have be teleported directly to ongoing or upcoming gates by speaking with the gatekeepers. That's also really good. Following adjustments have been made, gates will now reward MGP even in the event players fail to complete it. Cliffhanger, time of my life, skin change, and any way the wind blows. I already got my Corpicur, but we'll see what the new prizes are, I guess. The position of the starting NPCs in the following gates have been adjusted to more easily identify their locations on the map. They might as well just say the gates, because I think this is almost all of them. The gate face off, which is the only gate that's not mentioned here, has been adjusted as follows. The amount to participate and the reward decreased, increased, so basically it's much more worth doing. Players will no longer be tasked with delivering 2 priceless Thorn Dynasty vases. Frequency at which this gate appears has been reduced, because nobody likes it. There you go. New emotes have been added to the gate, the time of my life. The gate skin change we can believe in has been adjusted. I'm awful at that one because I have no sense of fashion and I'm colorblind, so when there's differences, I'm awful at them. Cliffhanger has been adjusted. Bombs will now all explode at fixed intervals. The frequency with which this gate appears has been increased because people like that one. I agree with this. The following additions have been made: Triple Triad, new cards, new NPCs. NPCs no longer have restrictions on when they can be challenged. That's a good thing. Change the icon for it when a player has won versus when a player has yet to win against them. Players can now see what card rewards are available in the match registration window. Okay. I can get behind that. Following additions: new performance UI has been adjusted. If you're someone who uses Perform, you'll probably get used to this real quick. I don't have much interest in it, so I don't have much to add to it in terms of thoughts. Certificates of commendation have been added as a reward for wondrous tales. So basically certificates of commendation are, I guess, sort of like pity rewards in a sense. I think you need to get at least one line to get a certificate of commendation, but it allows you to basically trade them into Chloe after doing enough wondrous tales and get rewards of your choice. How far they'll go with this in terms of like what rewards you'll be able to pick from Chloe, we don't know. But for those who are tired, like you think, oh man, I'm tired of doing this, I'm gonna get one line. There might be something in it a little bit more for you now. So please keep that in mind. The Royal City of Rabbit will now count towards the completion of certain objectives in Wondrous Tales. Okay. New emotes have been added. New hairstyles have been added. Oh, here's where the drama begins. Here's where the drama begins. Actions and traits have been adjusted as follows. Paladin, just as they said in the translation in the live letter, potency for Shield Swipe and Holy Spirit have been decreased. It's not too huge of a decrease. According to my Twitch chat right now, it's about a 1.5% decrease. That's not that bad. I honestly thought maybe Paladins were going to get it a little worse than that, but that's so far from being something that's like of major relevance that if you're playing Paladin now, you're not like, oh no, oh, I'm getting to change job. No, my Paladin, no. Shut up. It was 1.5%. Don't cry. Oh no. Okay, now you can start crying. Okay, so moving on to Warrior. They increase the potency of like pretty much all their skills in some certain way. This is because, as they told us with Storm's Eye, they were going to be reducing the amount of damage buffs that came from Storm's Eye. For example, it's been... well, I'm sorry. This was... Oh, I refreshed this. And no. Yeah, no, that's what it says. Yeah, so they reduced Storm's Eye by 10%, and they gave potency to pretty much all their skills. Heavy Swing, Skull Sunder, Overpower, Tomahawk, Maim, Butcher's Block, Storm's Path. Even Vengeance's Reflect got a 10% potency buff right there. And then Fellcleave even got 20 potency. So they gave potencies to a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to math all that out right now. But the big thing here, Berserk. So Berserk has gotten... I didn't see this coming. This was a really, really shocking change for me. So increases attack power by 30% has been changed to guarantee all attacks are critical and direct hits. Now that sounds fine on the surface. It sounds fine until you then go look at Inner Release and what happened with Inner Release. So, Berserk no longer gives 30% attack power. It guarantees all attacks are critical and direct hits, and it only lasts for 10 seconds. It also had its recast time increased. Now, you're probably wondering what that has to do with Inner Release. I'm going to scroll directly down to Inner Release. Actually, I'm going to scroll even further than that, because I missed this the first time I went through this. I'm going to scroll down all the way to the new trait that's been added. Berserk now becomes Inner Release. A lot of people first glancing over this, it looks like you have two buffs that grant critical hits and direct hits, and that sounds great. 20% of 20 seconds of guaranteed direct and critical hits. No, that's not what it does. That's not what it does. Berserk becomes Inner Release at, I think that was level 70, it said. At level 70, Berserk becomes Inner Release. So, some other things. Inner Release no longer shares a cooldown with Unchained. Its recast time technically has been reduced. While Berserk's went up, Inner Releases went down. So, that's something. But effect duration is still only 10 seconds. The big thing is, it now halves the use of the Beast Gauge, stun, sleep, whatever. Allows use of Beast Gauge actions without cost. So it doesn't half your cost anymore. You have no cost on your skills anymore with Inner Release. So if you're sitting at 100, you're still sitting at 100 when it's done. So you can use your Beast Gauge completely independent of timing it with Inner Release, especially because now you no longer have a Berserk window to aim it around. So I guess you're just working around Storm's Eye at this point to make sure that you have as much time with that and all this Beast Gauge with Storm's Eye, because I can't think of any other reason why you would do that. It still has, all the nullifies, all those different effects, drawn effects, knockbacks, all that stuff. And then it also gets Berserk's effect. Guarantees that all attacks are critical and direct hits. So, 10 seconds of whatever just Beast Gauge you want to use, just go crazy with it. All attacks are critical and direct hits. So, I'm not going to math that out. I don't know how to feel about it. Also, it doesn't need Deliverance anymore. You could do it when in Defiance, and because it's no longer tied to Unchained, and it no longer changes to Unchained either, and it technically means, I guess you could use this and Unchained at the same time. I mean, obviously you can because they're not tied together. All right. Well, I don't honestly just I don't know. I'm not a warrior. All I know is that that's okay. I don't know anything, so I'm just gonna shut up. Unchained's down to 90 seconds. Steel Cyclone's HP absorption's been reduced. I mean, it was kind of ridiculous, but I don't know. I don't think they deserve that. And is there anything else? Yeah. Warriors discuss. I don't. I'm not gonna throw numbers. I'm not doing it. Let's see. Dark Knight. Oh, you mean these great Dark Knight buffs that we were waiting for? Delirium recast time's been reduced from 120 to 80 seconds, and Blackest Night has been increased from 5 to 7 seconds. So I think that Delirium thing's actually really good for them. Delirium is a really, really strong cooldown to have, and at every I guess another 40 seconds earlier than you had it before. I guess usability changes is in that cooldown reduction in Blackest Night. But, I mean, the Delirium change is really good. The Blackest Night one's kind of weird, but the Delirium change is actually, like, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot of DPS to give Delirium every, another 40 seconds earlier than you had it before. The amount of Deliriums to get off in a fight, that should be a sizable increase. I don't know how much, but, listen, Dark Knights, you got something, right? You guys thought you were getting nothing until the most recent live letter. And you're getting something. All right? Sorry. But anyway. Monk. My dreams came true. I said they would never do half this stuff. Recast time for Mantra reduced to 90 seconds. That I predicted. Perfect balance? Oh, it's perfect, all right. But balance is anything but what I would say. Recast time has been reduced from 3 minutes to 1 minute. I'm sorry, but, like, I love it. It's just 60 seconds on perfect balance is crazy. That's going to mostly change. Perfect balance before was something you could use for a burst window. It had a very specific burst way to use it in terms of bursting. Now you just need to know that. You just need to do it every 60 seconds. Or you pretty much can always hold on to it. You'll always have it available if you lose stacks, unless you die right after using it. I mean, stack management is the big thing that went up with that. Burst windows, also having an extra burst window every 60 seconds is really nice, especially when you're going to have it a lot more frequently. When it was always lining up with your other abilities before. Now you just get an extra one, basically. So an extra 2 in the time it would have taken. So that's crazy. Now, okay, so Wind Tackle, duration of Riddle of Wind effect has been increased from 5 to 10 seconds. Riddle of Wind itself grants the effect of Grease Lightning within a duration. So what that tells me, it is indeed the activation of the second tackle, which gives you the stack on Wind Tackle. That was kind of the worst case scenario for the change that they listed, and I need actual time with it in the game before I'll know exactly how I want to incorporate that. But we'll see what that actually ends up doing. I'm not going to get too excited about that just yet. And Brotherhood effect now applies to the user. That's another 5% damage used and the chakra. So, I mean, at the very least, if you don't understand any of this, just look at Brotherhood. That's 5% more physical damage dealt during Brotherhood on top of the extra chakra stacks from yourself. So that's really good. That's especially good when you're doing like 4-man dungeons or even anything like, I guess, with Pugs where you get a ton of caster DPS. At least you can somewhat be responsible for generating some extra stacks as well. Machinist, they nerfed Hypercharge by 1%. We knew they were doing that. Black Mage, Potency on Fire 4, Ethereal Manipulation down 10%, increasing the proc duration by 6 seconds and reducing the transpose recast. We knew all of this. None of this is a surprise. Fire 4 being 20 potency was the only thing we needed to nail down for certain. This should give them much more mobility. For those who are already playing it well, it's extra potency on Fire 4. So they're good things. Again, not really on any of the Black Mage's wish list of things to do for the job. But people who can maximize, especially the 10 seconds on Ethereal Manipulation, are going to see some increases. But the idea behind Thunder and Fire having their procs increase so they're easier to integrate in terms of mobility, I don't know. Not a Black Mage, so I'm not super excited reading it because I think of the way that Black Mages treat Firestarter and Thundercloud procs now off the top of my head. And I don't know if that changes, but at the very least, people who are playing Black Mage, they're going to see numerical increases. I mean, that's it. If they're trying to be the samurais of the caster DPS, then that's what they get. And that's all they're going to get. Summoner, apparently they lied, or we had a mistranslation because they absolutely hit their single target potencies here. Tribind potency when under Dreadworm Trance dropped to 70. Pain Flare AoE dropped down to, thank you for letting me know, Creative Cloud, that I need an update. Pain Flare 20 potency. Ruin 3 potency down to 120. Honestly, can we just get rid of the number at the end of Ruin? Can we just call it like Ruin and like Demi Ruin at this point? Because like calling them like Ruins 1, 2, 3, and 4 with that kind of potency, you might as well be Ruin 1.5. Like you're not like you're like the Lion King. You're not really like a full sequel to the original, but like you're also not only the original. So it's just like it's Wormwave also been reduced from 160 down to 150. White Mage, Divine Benison no longer has the Healing Lily requirement. That's huge. I never thought they'd do it, but I'm really happy to see that they are. So thanks. That's awesome. XCOG, we already know this. Even if the effect isn't triggered, if it just wears off naturally, it'll provide the heal at the end. So that's a good change. Astro, the spear, has been buffed. It lasts 30 seconds now. And Earthly Star is more of I guess a fix. The size of the cursor when targeting the ground will now be indicative of the area of effect. Tank Rolls, Interject's going to have a faster, I guess, activation. The silence is taking too long currently. Diversion, reduction to enmity generation has been improved. We know it's 90% instead of 50% now, and it lasts 30 seconds. A lot of people have been asking if that means Ninja's not as important. One of the big things about Diversion is it reduces enmity, whereas Ninja controls enmity. So they function very differently. Without sitting down and I guess showing you the difference on like ACT or I guess even on the enmity bar, it's a little bit harder to understand it. But that it doesn't mean like, oh, Ninja, that means that Shadewalker and Smokescreen aren't as useful anymore. Trust me, that has no relevance on the situation right now. Those are still going to be very strong skills. Head Graze, silence effect now targets more quickly. Okay, and we already went over Berserk Mastery. Elemental resistance is removed, but we can get in more into that when we talk about Eureka. New dungeons have been added. Hell's Lid. Minimum item level 310 to enter. An auspicious encounter. Must first complete the main scenario quest. Question mark, question mark, question mark. The Fractal Continuum hard mode. I'm assuming this is the same quest you need to unlock Byakko, because they said they would be loosely tied together, Hell's Lid and Byakko, so we'll see. Fractal Continuum hard mode, we already know you just need to do this Unwanted Truth, which needs Stormblood and Fractal Continuum, and that's over in Walger's Reach. Item level sync has been added to Kugane and Temple of Fist. They're synced at 340. Jade Stoa, the normal mode has 325 minimum, and that's, again, an auspicious encounter. Players must first complete. Yeah. So that's pretty much, that's it. That's all you need to know. They're both part of the same quest, as a matter of fact. So that's what I'm seeing here, because that's what you need to do to unlock it. So Jade Stoa Extreme can only be accessed through the Raid Finder. Disciple of War Magic level 70. You need an average item level of at least 340 to challenge the Jade Stoa. Keep in mind, full parties don't care about that restriction. 8 players, 60 minutes, the standard. Drops weapons, drops a mount, drops totems. You know the whole drill. And you do need to beat Jade Stoa normal before you can get to extreme mode. Power of the Echo is now in Shinryu. No surprise there. Sigmascape has been added for Omega. 325 to enter for normal. Probably 340 for the initial one in the Raid Finder as well. Chronicles of New Era quest return to the Rift. Then it's explaining this. If you did the previous, if you did Deltascape, there isn't much to say here. It's the same exact thing as Deltascape, so we're not going to spend time here. Then you have Savage. So this comment always scares people right here. So you go through Sigmascape via the Raid Finder, and it always says 2 or more of the same job is not permitted. That's if you are solo queue or you are not full party queuing into the Raid Finder. If you queue in with 8 people, this restriction doesn't matter. Everyone always sees that and goes, oh no, does that mean no. 8 people ignores restrictions. Just a little reminder so people don't see that and panic. For V1, and also these average item levels don't matter also if you're going in with a full party. Just remember that. 340, 345, 350, and 350 for 1, 2, 3, and 4. 8 players, and then 90, 90, 90, and 120. Gee, I wonder why V4 has 120 minutes. If only it's almost like there's going to be 2 bosses in there on Savage. It's almost like therelike there's going to be a checkpoint and the second boss there on Okay. All right. Okay. Sigmascape Savage, and then this is all stuff that if you did Deltascape Savage, you know pretty much how this is all going to work. And a reminder to the way that the Raid Finder works. They even underline it. Look at this. The Y cuts into it. By selecting duty completion, players will not be matched with those who have already completed the duty. Please get used to this. What happened a lot with Deltascape came out was people weren't using the matching requirements here, and they weren't using the purpose properly. So what happens is, if you put duty incomplete in your matching requirements, and you're queuing with a full party, you can use this to prevent shit like, oh, somebody already had a checkpoint or something, or somebody is costing us loot or something like that. You can prevent that from ever happening if you use this correctly. So please use it correctly, and then don't go and be like, oh, someone's sabotaging runs by, you know, being in the group and saying they don't have the clear. There's a pop-up on the screen. You can stop from even queuing in if someone already has the clear. Just please learn how to use this. That's all I'm asking you to do. And then the item exchange is exactly the same as it was with Deltascape. It's just that now it's Sigmascape. 08 Savage or Sigmascape V4 Savage drops a weapon coffer just like Deltascape V4 Savage did. Following duties have been added to the raid finder. Jade Stoa, I thought it said, for some reason I thought it said the mentor roulette, and I started laughing. Jade Stoa and the Savages are all in the raid finder. You can now queue for the old Savages and Shinryu in the duty finder. Royal City of Rabanastre had its weekly restrictions removed on everything pretty much. And the card no longer appears in a chest shared across the alliances. They will instead appear in the chest that spawn for each party. So each party has their own cards that they can roll on at the end. Following adjustments have been made to the Unending Coil. You can farm as many Dreadworm totems as you want now. You can do more than one per week. That's starting on Tuesday. And its item level synced to 345 to preserve the challenge level of that. So if you're somebody who finishes Sigmascape and you're thinking, oh, maybe I can go like prepare for the next ultimate. You can still do this. You can still do this and technically make this a form of your progression, because honestly, beating Sigmascape Savage and then going back into Unending Coil, if you haven't beaten it or you haven't approached it, it will still feel like progression. So it's not a bad idea if you're looking to improve the skill level of the raid team that you're in, as long as everyone's on the same page when it comes to that one. Let's see. So following additions adjustments have been made to Tomestones. Mendacity is replacing Creation as the capped Tomestone. Creation's now going to be uncapped, and Verity's no longer available. You can trade Verity in for Creation Tomestones. It's the same thing they've been doing for years now. No big surprise. This is a bit of a disappointment. So there is going to be a level 70 roulette. That's fine. Alamigo, Kugane, Temple of the Fist, and Drowned City. But the expert roulette's just going to have Hell's Lid and Fractal. I really wanted them to keep Drowned City and combine it with Hell's Lid and Fractal and do that for the expert roulette. We were so excited for 7 months. We had more than 2 dungeons. We were so excited. I have no doubt that obviously in 4.3, they're just going to add the 4.3 dungeon in, and then we have 3 months of 3 dungeons, but that means that 4.4 goes back to me. You know what? I don't do dungeons anyway. What am I complaining about? And then it's 100 Tomestones of Creation and 15 of Mendacity for the level 70 roulette. The following duty has been added to the trial roulette, Jade Stoa normal. Alliance raids. So they did add the Royal City of Rabanastre to the Alliance raids roulette. Okay, I'm down with that. I wasn't sure if they were going to do it or not, but it seems they are doing it. Following duties have been added to the Mentor roulette, normal Sigmascape, normal Jade Stoa, Hell's Lid, and Fractal Continuum hard mode. Mentor roulette item level has been increased to 325 minimum. This is just them converting the Tomestones from Verity to Creation to Mendacity, so none of this is a surprise. They do it every patch. Same with the hunts. It's just all conversions. Same with everything there. Stone Sky Sea got all the Sigmascape, Omega Sigmascape, Sigmascape Savage, and Jade Stoa Extreme added to it. Contents of treasure coffers in certain dungeons have been adjusted to prevent illicit activities. The adjustment only pertains to the location from which an item is obtained, e.g. an item originally obtained in the first treasure coffer being moved to the third. Were RMT going into dungeons, opening the first treasure coffer, and then leaving? Like... RMT, man, like, I understand, like, they're out to get you. We're all out to get you. We want you gone. That's some desperate shit right there. Oh, man. Okay, that's fun for them. Players will no longer be inflicted with the heavy status when taking damage from behind while mounted. In PvP, you still get limp. Thank you again, LA. But that's... After over 4 years, why now are they getting rid? I'm perfectly fine with it, but why now? Okay, I'm cool with that. New PvP actions have been added. Inner release. So I always feel really... Like, I know PvP actions function separately from PvE actions, but inner release, it has its old effect in PvP. But if for warriors, it's the same effect. It's the old inner release. I just don't know why they make the new inner release good, and then the old one is, I mean, not good, but they change the inner release, and then they leave the old one and put it into PvP. I just don't get it. Manification, same thing. That's just getting added. They didn't have that before. So, and then they're making a bunch of changes here. They removed Upheaval. They removed Monogamy from Red Mage. They're making adjustments for pretty much all the PvP jobs here. I'm not going to get into these too much because I don't really have much to add in terms of discussion, in terms of PvP potencies and stuff like that. But I see numbers all over the place for HP. Healers having more HP. You know what? I'm not scrolling past that. But their healing potencies have been reduced. So, but their MP costs have been, well, regen specifically, I guess. Only regen's potency. So, all right, healers are harder. It's all right. Well, you know, that's okay. Anyway, I'm going to move on before I get sad. The accumulation of mana during... I'm assuming all these are PvP changes. So unless it's something that's a big deal, I don't really care. I'm assuming this is specifically a PvP change for Red Mage, just because we're in the PvP section. These special graphics are really good for players being inflicted by enfeebling effects in PvP. That's awesome. More visual tells is always a good thing. PvP traits getting adjusted, additional actions getting adjusted, adrenaline rushes getting adjusted, terminal velocity increased to 6,000 potency. All right, but it also has a cast time of 1.5 seconds. All right, well, I guess that makes it a little bit more skillful to use. Players can no longer move or turn while casting adrenaline rush actions. Oh, so that means you can actually LOS like the melee one much more consistently now. The new PvP team feature has been added to encourage stronger bonds between participants. This is basically the equivalent of a PvP link shell / free company in a sense, where you make a team of 4 to 6 players and you have your own chat, your own team name, and your own team menu and team rating and team rank and different members and a team leader and a sub leader and regular members. Basically, we esports now, or they want to be like, they want to have tournaments at the very least, and they're going to be using these to scout out the tournament users, or the tournament participants. So that's interesting. I'm curious to see how it goes. Yoshida seems to want to take that step by step, and he doesn't want to rush too far into it, but it's something for the PvP people, and it should keep, I guess, PvP communities that actually like want to participate actively a little bit more, I guess, on top of it. I still don't see anything about rank decay, which is my #1 concern about PvP right now, is that people just climb and then they leave. They don't do anything because they're already at a satisfying rank, and then that's it. It's done. So there you go. Rival Wings, what did you do? Ranged physical and magical attacks against Warmachina and Mammoths from a distance of 15 yalms or more have their damage reduced. Alright, whatever. Effects of healing on Mammoths have been reduced by 50%. Yeah, that was pretty OP. Healers healing the Mammoths, I actually really like seeing when healers did that. But you know what? Healers, you're already strong enough. Alright, you don't need this too. Damage reduction, effective soaring has been removed. Okay. The following adjustments have been made to the amount of ceruleum gained. Destroying Mammoths is now worth 20 maximum. That's actually pretty good, because it's the amount you get is based on the percentage of damage that players deal versus enemy mammoths. So it's a little bit more rewarding. And they made it so controlling the center is a lot less powerful. It's, almost doubled in time. It's a 66% increase in the amount of time that you actually take to get one. So over the course of holding a power generator, that's a pretty substantial nerf. And I guess they're trying to push it into mammoth control over center control, but center is still like a bonus that you can fight for occasionally. They also adjusted ceruleum tanks where they appear, the number of them that appear, and they increased the range of the cannons again. So okay, that's have fun with that. Crystal Tower Training Grounds map has been added. It's all a bunch of PvP stuff here. This is going to be basically the competitive map, and it's got 4 different layouts that'll randomly spawn when you actually go into the matches. So they added team ranked custom match in the Crystal Tower, 8-on-8 training, 8-on-8 custom, and they have it for specific maps now for Feasting Ground and Lichen Weed, and then just general training in the Feast for 8v8. All right, whatever. The Feast training. All right, the availability of each map. Okay, this is what I just explained, so I'm going to skip past that. Match length has been changed to 6 minutes. Timing of supply boxes have been adjusted. HP of supply box has been adjusted. Culling time activates has been adjusted because the matches are shorter now. As you can see, it starts from 90 seconds in, you get a stack, and then every 15 seconds you get stacks until people are at 5 stacks, and then it ends more quickly after a KO, so you can't abuse getting multiple KOs during the culling time. Adrenaline gauge fills has been adjusted, probably made faster because of the shorter matches. Respawning, you'll now respawn where you die, pretty much. Respawn at the location once a certain amount of time has passed. They'll get temporary invincibility, MP, and TP will be fully replenished. Adjustments have been made to medals. There's a maximum number of medals each different type of player can hold at this point. Excuse me. And then if you have less than the amount of medals you started with, you take reduced damage. They explain that down here. Specifically, so you start with 100, that's normal damage. 0 or 100. Wait. Are some people going to start with 0? I guess that I might have missed that up here. When a participant picks up medals, that any that exceed the limit will reappear at that location. All right. Because that's just, I don't know, when I read that, it was just kind of weird. If you have 0 medals, you take normal damage. 1 to 24, 25 to 49, 50 to 74, 75 to 99. So that'll reduce damage taken. And then if you have more than 100, you'll take bonus damage. Obviously, depending on the maximum you're allowed to have, obviously tanks get the most bonus damage they can take because they can actually hold up to 200. So there you go. Offensive kits, defensive kits, and supplies all been removed. So I guess that just leaves the Wolf's Heart. I guess that's what it is. End of Season 6, Feast is now in preseason. Players' highest ratings will now determine their ranking in the Feast. Changes have been made to display names during battle. You can see the job, I guess, is the big thing. Class or job, because, classes are still allowed. PvP team names are displayed in match progress during team-ranked matches. PvP teams are displayed in the results screen after team-ranked matches. Following adjustments have been made to the profile. You can see all this stuff. Overall performance. Next tier is displayed under promotion qualifier, and the highest rating and highest tier reached during the seasons are displayed. Then new items are available. We have the new sets. New recipes are available. The Void set was that Void Arc, I believe. Yeah, that's repurposed Void Arc gear. New master recipes have been added. New Glamour Prism item will be used to cast Glamours of all types instead of class-specific ones. Removal of elemental resistances. All these materials are going to be made bye-bye. Increasing effects have been removed. They are no longer given as rewards. Elemental material can still be traded to Mutamix Bubbly Pots to use in Materia Transfusion. Players can no longer receive elemental materia. So if you have any leftover elemental materia, you can still gamble it. You just can't obtain it anymore. So that's good. I welcome that because it means that it won't all go to waste. It'll still have one final purpose. One final purpose. Elemental resistance properties have been removed from equipment following medicines that increase elemental. This is all just them removing elemental resistance stuff. They changed minor and botany stuff because of that. They removed it from materia. And then we move into inventory stuff. You can hold up to 999 items at once. Items exchangeable for gil still have a limit of 99 per slot. Items exchangeable for gil. Are they talking about what are they called? The clear demi materia and stuff. Maximum 99 items sold in markets and traded at vendors is unchanged. Okay. Unique classification has been removed from certain items, such as those given as rewards in seasonal events or sold on the Mog Station. Unique classification has been removed from these following items. Certain items, such as those that grant new minions, may only be discarded if the corresponding feature has already been obtained. Following items can no longer be sold at vendors. Can only be discarded if the corresponding has already been obtained. All right, just a bunch of changes to items and availability and stuff and whatever. Following changes have been made to Fantasias. Fantasias could only be used after removing all equipment main hand. For patch 4.2, accessory must also be removed. Why? Why all of a sudden do accessories now also need to be removed for Fantasias? That's weird. Item levels will now be displayed for meals. All right, that's good. More information is good information. Icon for flight credits have been changed. Type of item, slate, hatchling lamp. All right, type of item they are. I don't really care. No, reducing the amount of Kupo nuts needed for those rewards. I guess that's fine for desynthesis or I guess gearing up in a sense. New items can be purchased in exchange for achievement certificates. That would be the match type claw. Adjustments have been made to Rowena's House of Splendors. Amount of experience points earned when submitting collectibles from 50 to 59 has been increased. 50 to 55 hand or landsmith's collectibles, they will receive scripts. Okay. New gathering points have been added. New items can be obtained. New fishes. Chance of successfully reeling in fish has been increased in 2.0 and 3.0 areas. Hey, the fishing tackle menu. Hey, you mean the 70 slots in the chocobo, right? Okay. The order of items shown in the fishing tackle menu. The number of items gained when performing ethereal reduction obtained from ephemeral gathering points has been increased in certain cases. There's the Magitech Claw. There's another. Oh, these are the Grand Company mounts. The three of the Grand Company mounts that you get from PvP. I believe from the super old maps, the original Frontlines map. They can fly now. So if you have them, I think those might just be victory in Frontlines under Grand Company. They might not be for the original map, but nobody does Frontlines now because of Rival Wings. So meh. Music played when riding Alt-Roit has been changed. Did they make it the Neo X-Death music? I hope so. New Chocobo Barding's been added. That's the Byakko one. That's kind of creepy. New minion. We also know there's a Byakko minion, a cute little white tiger. New achievements have been added. Following categories have been added to achievements: PvP and exploration. Ooh, there's okay. I'm down with this. I'm very much down with these things. In exploration is all right. Some achievements have changed category. The name of the following marker board has been changed. Airship components. It's airship and submersible components. Glamour dressers and plates. This is a new glamour system. Basically, you can put items into the glamour wardrobe, and then they're no longer items you can use, and they can strictly be used for glamour. You can take them out of the wardrobe if you want to use the items again normally, but it's basically another glamour system on top of the old one that allows a little bit more customization. It's got 200 slots for armor and weapons and all that junk, so even if you're not someone who's into glamour, like me, I don't really care about glamour, at the very least it's 200 spaces for your weapons and armor that can't be put in the armoire. It also does pull from the armoire for items that you can actually glamour. So you can see, you throw them in there, and LA, I'm going to need you to shut the hell up right about now. And then you can make all these different sets, and then you can cast the plates as long as you're not in combat, so you're good to go. I've explained it a bunch of times, so we're not going to get too much into it. The duty recorder, so I was disappointed when I heard about this in an interview before this happened. So the duty recorder basically allows you to record an instance. It basically records all the actions every player takes and then recreates the instance in what appears to be a video. It's not like a video that gets added to a folder or anything like that. It's not a downloadable video. It's a recreation of actions, almost like a parse of some kind. And then it's got a bunch of different options. But the idea is it should make my job easier, right? Well, so the thing about that is you have to unlock it. This is just them explaining how to unlock it, and you must have at least 210 megabytes of free space to record. Am I actually going to get like a? Now it's making it seem like I can actually like do it. I guess oh no. So you know what? It's probably not like a video format, but it probably still takes up space in the actual folder in a sense. But 210 megabytes. Yeah, no, I can get behind that. I can get behind that. But the only things that are recordable are Jadestone and Jadestone Extreme. So I believe in an interview, he said the reason why Sigmascape's not recordable with this feature right away is because they want the world first race to conclude. So it's possible that a week after it comes out, there's a possibility that they add this recording feature and it allows us to record then. But they basically don't want to chance any bugs with Sigmascape, with something happening and it's screwing people over. So won't be able to record Sigmascape right in the first week. Viewing duty recorder, records. They've showed us this before. That you can only save up to 3 at a time, and you're gonna have to overwrite the old ones if you want to record new ones. You can also lock them to make sure they can't be overwritten. Then you actually have the display. This is just them explaining all the different UI elements. We don't need to go into that very much. And also everyone in the group. It can't be done in Duty Finder groups, and everyone in the group, even if it is a pre-made group, has to agree to record it. Chocobo Saddlebag feature has been added. It's basically 70 bonus inventory slots that can be used as long as you're not in an instance. You don't even need your Chocobo out to access it, but it's just an extra 70 inventory slots, basically. They also changed the layout of the inventory. You can make it so, this is what it was, well, this is one of the options you have. So 4 tabs, you can have 5x7 tabs, 4 tabs. We know you can also do 2 giant tabs that are 70 each, which is pretty sweet. Do they show that anywhere here? They don't. Feels bad, man. And then retainer inventory also got a little bit of an update. Undo sort command is here. Following adjustments have been made to retainers. Maximum number of retainers increase has been, what's it called? That's been increased to 9. Hiring 3 or more retainers requires the mod station. Yeah, we knew that wasn't changing. Summoning bell, city state location will be displayed in the retainer list, even if that retainer is not selling any items on the market board. NPC shops now be filtered to show only items released after an update by selecting show only recently added items. Following adjustments have been made to the actions and trait interface. Opening that interface will take you to the last viewed tab. I actually like that instead of always sending you to the same tab the first time. But even after logging out or changing job class, I like it. Try on subcommand. Players can now toggle sheath, draw weapon in the fitting room. Order in the minions. The minion guide's been adjusted. Players can now accept teleport offer from party members when riding a 2-person mount or when incapacitated. Dead people can be teleported. Got it. Using a gamepad or controller is now easier to select aetherites when teleporting from the map. Scenario guide will now be displayed and will now display any available class or job quest for your current class or job. I like that. That's something for new players, so they don't miss them, because I know new players tend to miss those quite frequently. World name is now displayed in the chat log when receiving a message from a player in another world during a duty. Display of the cross marker has been adjusted, so it's a it's a plus sign instead of an X now. The macros 98 and 99 can be set to the left thumb and right thumb click. Okay. Icons for surprised and shut eyes have been adjusted. Okay, so they were sad and now they're happy. Was somebody really that sad in the office looking at the old ones that they had to do this? Oh, they look so sad. Let's make them happy. Certain commands can now be assigned to the mouse wheel. That I really like. I really like the added functionality to the mouse wheel that they have here. Zoom camera in, out, and then there's a bunch of other ones that aren't assigned right here. An option where in the toggle the camera locks on the NPCs when you're speaking to them. I might turn that off. I think I might turn that off. Look at target when speaking. I think I'm going to turn that off because it's not like it gets in my way, but I'm never really like super excited about it. So I like that. I like that little change. And then mouse wheel, scroll up, general tab. This is just, I guess, another reminder of stuff that's been added to those interfaces. Options have been added to key bindings. Basically, this is basically them just saying we've added buttons, key bindings, macro lines, or text commands for all the things we just added this patch. That's basically what all of this is. Charmed. Well, and then on top of that, new emotes. Big grin, reflect, furrow, scoff, tremble, winded, aback, greet. So new emotes. So that's just to give you an idea of what new emotes will be there. New phrases have been added to auto-translation to music, and if a player is logged into a client, logging into a second client with the same service account will automatically log that player out of the first client. The player may continue to play on the second client. In other words, if you stayed logged in at home by accident, you don't have to call your wife and be like, hey, babe, I hope you're doing all right. Listen, I didn't call to talk to you. I called because I my computer's on, I stayed logged in, and I'm trying to play on my road trip right now. For some reason, you're not here. I guess we don't love each other enough. And so, I just need you to log out of that character real quick so I can. Thanks. That'll be good. So anyway, that's the preliminary patch notes. There's no items in these preliminary patch notes, so there's a lot of questions that people still have in regards to what the items are, item levels. Item levels are generally predictable, so it shouldn't be too difficult to figure out for people what they're going to be. Other than that, there's not much else to really talk about. I'm looking forward to Eureka, which we know is 4.25, and that's not going to be for at least another month after patch 4.2 launches initially. So that's it. That's going to be a wrap up for here. I'm going to get to Monster Hunter World finally because that's what I really want to play. So I sped through some of this. My apologies. I will see all you fine ladies and gentlemen in the next video. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share. I'm going to now get to uploading this from Twitch, and then I'm going to go play Monster Hunter World. Thank you, and until next time, take care. All right, let me fucking do this quick. Please. I need this done. I need this done fast. All right. All the sub notifications